Okay. So again, thank you guys for making the quick change to Zoom. I know I was hoping to have been cleared by employee health to come back today, but I am not cleared to come back until tomorrow, unfortunately. So thank you guys for making the switch. So something that we're going to be doing today before we begin talking about your rough drafts peer review, and hopefully we'll have some time to talk about APA as well, is your writing groups. So that will be something where you guys will have some time to introduce yourselves, decide on how you're going to communicate with one another, as well as decide how to kind of strategize peer review for the coming rough draft. So your rough draft will be due on February 6th. So from Monday, February 7th to Wednesday, the 9th, we will hold writing conferences. So these will be over Zoom and they will be outside of class. So like it says in the syllabus, the writing conferences are a part of your attendance for the course. And if you miss them or don't schedule one, you will receive an absence for the course, and that goes towards those 4 allowable absences for the semester. Also, if you don't attend your writing conference, you will not receive any feedback. You will just receive a score. So I like to negotiate your feedback with you. This includes negotiating your score and looking at kind of how you've taken the kind of concepts and things that we're supposed to use in this particular project and applied them to your writing. You can, of course, reschedule your conference if you need to, but please email me as soon as you are able to or know that you need to reschedule so that we can get you into a writing conference time slot as soon as possible. So if for whatever reason, if you're one of the folks watching the recording and you weren't here today on the Zoom call, please email me with your preferred times as well. So underneath that kind of highlight there, you will see the link to go ahead and take a look at the full schedule. And I'll put that into the chat as well. Take a second to move all of my Zoom windows around. Okay, so if you'd like to view the schedule directly, you cannot make changes to this. So what I'd like you guys to do is to let me know which times you would like in the chat. I've had some issues in the past where students have replaced someone else with their name, and I have had 2 people show up. So that is problematic, and I have chosen to be the one that makes the changes only. So when you see a time that works for you in your schedule, please put it into the chat. I'd like to get everybody signed up here during class if I can. So be 3 p.m. on Monday. Okay. All right. Fausto, 9 a.m. on Monday. Okay. All right. Hunter, 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Okay. Diana, Monday, 3:15. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, Jake, Tuesday at noon. Okay, Max, 2:30 on Tuesday. Okay, Morgan, 12:15 on Tuesday. Vaibhav, 3:30 on Monday. Okay, Emily, Wednesday at 11. Just because we have a few Emilys in this class. And if I misspelled your name, let me know so I'll change it. Emily Brown, 3:45 on Monday. Jackson, Monday at 10:30. Okay, Alyssa, 11 on Wednesday. Parker, 2:15 on Tuesday. Wednesday, okay. All right, we'll get you switched over. Okay. All right, Cassidy, Tuesday at 2:45. Collins, Tuesday at 11. Collins, Alyssa already took that slot. Could you do 11:15?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Fausto, I got you switched over to 10:30 on Tuesday. All right. Perfect. All right, is that everybody? 9. Okay, I think that's everybody. Awesome. Okay. I will reach out to the folks that are not here and get them scheduled. All right, is there anybody else that we need? I don't think so. I think we're good there. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. Now, I will post that schedule both in announcements and in its own module page for next week and send out reminders. So what we'll also be doing next week is peer review. So like I mentioned, for Writing Project 1, we will still have class next week in addition to doing peer review and conferences. That won't be the case for Writing Project 2 or Writing Project 3, but I'm only able to replace class twice with those for the rules for writing programs, essentially. So that's why we will still have class with the first project. Writing Project 2 and 3 are a little more complicated. So I want to make sure that you guys have more time dedicated to doing the peer review work as well as doing your revisions and edits for your own final drafts for those projects. So the first thing that we're going to talk about then is your semester writing groups. Now, I know we're missing quite a few folks. So if you are in a room by yourself today, which is the case for a couple of people, I might move you, I might come in and talk to you individually about your group members and getting you connected with them. But I'm going to have you guys taking a look in terms of the kind of getting contact information and working together the rest of the semester. So first, let's take a look at your groups for the semester. So you'll be able to find these in the People tab. So if you want to go ahead and click on People here or People over here in the navigation bar, you can. Alyssa, I will get you switched over as well. Thank you for that. Okay, so I only want to give you guys a few minutes to do this in your groups. There are a couple of activities we're going to do today in your groups. First is just kind of introducing yourselves. The second is I'm going to have you guys working to analyze a couple of examples for the rough draft. So the first set, I'm only going to give you guys about 5 minutes. Make sure to briefly introduce yourselves. Decide on the best way to work together. So we will not have any group projects in this class, but you want to think about your writing group as kind of like a support group for the course itself. So this is some people that you can come to for questions. If you're running late and I'm not able to check my email since I have classes before ours and I'm not able to see if there's something that's happening or if there's an emergency, you can send a message to your group members and let me know for class. If there's emergency announcements that go out, like the one today where I had to do the switch to Zoom because I'm not allowed back on campus quite yet, these are the folks to definitely contact. But you guys get to decide on how you want to work together to do certain things and how you want to contact each other. So I've had students who create their own Snapchat groups or Discord groups, or they just email back and forth. It's up to you how you want to contact one another and what information to exchange. And then I'll have you come back and we'll briefly kind of go through the rough draft steps and how to kind of combine everything we've done so far to construct your rough draft. And then I'll kind of turn you loose to work with your group members to analyze a couple of different examples. So let me make sure everybody is in their groups. I know we just had a few people come in. Give me one moment to get those folks into their groups. Okay. And like I said, I know there's going to be a couple of folks whose group members are not here. Again, COVID, there is folks that are missing, but I will make sure that you guys are able to get in contact with those group members. So again, introduce yourself, decide on how you want to contact one another, and exchange that contact information. All right, go ahead and go into your breakout rooms. Hi, V. You are one of the folks who is SANS group members. So I will get you in contact with your group members later this evening. So you're with Emily Garcia and Tyler Smithson. So I'll make sure to send a message through Canvas with at least their email addresses so you can kind of tell them what we did today and kind of get them up to speed in terms of the idea of what writing groups are for. Sound good? Okay. All right, so hang out for just a few minutes and then I'll have you come back out to the main room. So you're good. You don't have to do anything right now. All right, I'll see you in just a few minutes. Hi, Parker.
Hello.
Hi there. You have two group members, both of which are kind of they're under restriction at the moment. At least one of them I know of. Titus, I'm not quite sure of, but your two group members are Emma Downer and Titus Junea. So I am not sure where Titus is. Emma is under restriction, but I will make sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Are you talking about COVID restriction or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're not out of the class, but they're not present at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, Titus, I'm not sure, but I will make sure to send out a message about getting the contact information together, and you guys can kind of coordinate via email or however you want to kind of work together for the class activities that we'll do.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you happen to have their student emails?
Yeah, and what I'll do is after class, I will make sure to send those to you. And I'll get that sorted for you guys. So for class today, though, what I'll probably do is connect you with another group. So you're not doing work alone, because that would be bad and horrible. I don't want to make you do that.
Thank you.
All right. So just hang out for a few minutes while the others are sorting out their contact information stuff, and then I'll have everybody come back.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Parker.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Have you made your arrangements and decided how you're going to work together?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, you guys are missing. Who are you? Thought she was here a few minutes ago, so she might not. I think she's having connectivity issues, but Alyssa Gomez is your fourth member. So if she's not able to come back, what I'll do is I'll make sure to send emails to all of you guys or Canvas messages with everybody's contact information so that you guys can coordinate with her as well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys.
Like work on?
Okay.
But
Hi.
Hi, folks. I
Hey.
know you are missing 2 of your group members. So you're missing
Yes.
Yayu and Seth.
Yes.
And I know there's some stuff kind of moving around and shaking around for them. So what I'll be doing is I'll send out a message in a little while after class to connect with them via email.
Great.
You guys can let them know what you guys decided and how you guys want to communicate with each other.
Okay.
All right.
So
And Mrs. Ike, I had a quick question. So is it possible to remove the Tuesday at 10:30 and just keep the 9 a.m. on Monday? Please?
yes, let me get rid of it. You want the 9 a.m. or the 10:30? I'm sorry.
The 9 a.m.
You want the 9 a.m. Okay. Yes.
Yes,
I will
for
get that.
Monday.
Cool.
Please
Cool.
and thank you very much.
You're welcome. That has been changed. Alyssa, 11.
So is that the only thing that we have to do? Just decide on
How you're
where
gonna
we want to
communicate.
communicate? Yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And any other questions or feeling good?
That's pretty much it. I don't know about Hunter.
Okay. Give me just a minute to check in with the others and then I'll have everybody come back.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
No, you're just passing contact.
All right, folks. Have you guys decided how you're going to communicate?
Yeah.
Cool beans. Okay. Ooh. Emily, I wanted to ask you if you would be willing to come at 11:15 on Wednesday. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. I'll have you guys come back into the main room in just a sec. Hi guys, I just wanted to check out and see if you guys are all set and you figured out how you're going to communicate with each other.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, all right, and then let me go ahead and have everybody come back to the main room and thank you guys for sorting that out. All right. Thanks again for you guys having you guys coordinate that. And again, for those of you who have group members who are not here today, I will be making sure to get you their contact information so that you are able to reach out and finish that process. Okay. So from here, what I would like to do in our schedule is now take a look at your rough draft. So the big thing to kind of remember is that for the most part, you guys have done a lot of the writing between your proposal, the stage 1 draft, and your stage 2 draft. So in particular, your proposal and the stage 2 draft are really good sets of information can help you construct that essay. So the last time that we met, we talked a lot about figuring out that balance of the rhetorical appeals and how to identify and analyze for them in your own project and in the text that you've chosen. So what you'll want to do in particular is you'll want to take what you wrote in your writing project 1 proposal and help use that in constructing your introduction paragraph or paragraphs. Some of you guys wrote quite a bit about the impact and the balance of the rhetorical appeals as you saw them at that point. Some of you guys had kind of some ideas, but hopefully over the past week or so, you've been able to see how to expand that. So when you move from the proposal and creating the introduction with your thesis statement about that balance of the rhetorical appeals, then you'll move into the answers that you created for your stage 2 draft. So you'll take out all the questions. So you don't have to have the questions in your essay at all. So questions can be really powerful tools in an essay. They're meant to help direct your reader. So you only want to really use questions in an essay when you're trying to do something really specific. So we want to take out all the questions and just leave the answers. That becomes the core of your essay. Now you'll still have to do some additional writing, some additional editing to make that a coherent, connected essay. But the questions that you ask should help you with that process. It'll also give you a chance to kind of think about where things are a little thin or where things seem like they're going off topic. Because then you'll be able to see, okay, does the next set of ideas match what I just said, and so on. So what I want to kind of do then is give you guys a chance to look at some examples. And let's do it this way. Let's have you guys look at specific examples rather than, okay. So I'm going to move a couple of folks that are by themselves today into some other rooms. So let me do that real quick. Okay. So let's have group one. So that's Diana, Emily, Brown, and Vibhub. Why don't you guys look at student example one? Group two, Fausto, Hunter, and the temporary members of Parker and V. Why don't you guys look at student example two? Group three, Cassidy, Emily, Garabagi, Jackson, and Max. Why don't you guys look at student example three? And and let's have group six, Collins, Jake, and Morgan. Why don't you take a look also at student example two? I think that will be the one that's going to be closest to what you guys are looking at. So in your breakout groups, what I'd like you guys to kind of analyze for are a couple of things. Number one, what are the thesis statements that kind of talk about the balance of the rhetorical appeals that these students analyze for in their chosen text? And number two, how do they break that apart and how do they analyze that in each of their body paragraphs? So take some time in your group to kind of read through. So I'll give you guys about 15 minutes to kind of go through as well as analyze the particular essay and look for examples that you want to use in your own draft. So choose one person to represent your group to kind of report back what you found. And then we'll kind of discuss what those good examples look like. So each of these students did a really good job of kind of talking through the text that they chose. They're not perfect essays by any means, but they are really good essays in terms of how they approach the text. So looking at the rhetorical appeals, naming the rhetorical appeals, and showing examples are really important. So these student examples are ways for us to kind of see how we can use that and do a rhetorical analysis on any text that we are going to approach. Okay, before I have you guys go into your breakout rooms, do you guys have any questions? All right, if you feel like you're good, give me that thumbs up before I send you out. I know, we're back into Zoom world. I'm sorry, I apologize. All right. Awesome, awesome. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and send you into your breakout rooms. I'll come around and see if there's any questions. And if you need anything, please use that raise your hand for help button at the bottom of Zoom. All right, go ahead and go into your breakout rooms. All right, so hopefully we've got everybody back. All right, again, whoever your spokesperson is for your group, if you would like to share your screen to show where the examples are in the essay that your group was working on, cool. You may do so, or you can just kind of describe it if you would like. What group would like to go first?
Well, I guess our group will go first.
Okay, and Jake, you were group 4, so you were also looking at the second example, right?
Yes.
All right. And again, if you want to share your screen, go for
Yeah, I have no clue how to do that. I'm just gonna talk then.
it. There should be, if you hover at the bottom of the Zoom screen, there's a little.
Oh, yeah, I got it. 1 sec.
No problem.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk here. So we looked at the second essay, and one of their last paragraphs talked about how logos was absent in their song they chose, and we thought that was interesting because they were able to talk about how one of the appeals was not present in their work they analyzed, and we thought that was very interesting that they were able to come up with some good points about something that was not there. Yeah, that paragraph.
Yeah. So I think that's really important to kind of think about the idea of how there's logos can't actually be present in a particular space sometimes because of the rhetorical appeal of pathos kind of clouding over all of the others. So I think explaining it that way is extremely necessary in terms of describing absence. All right, what else?
Yeah, let me pull this up again. We had another example. We also thought that we also liked how they talked about like what appeals appeared at certain points of the song, and the paragraph about Kairos. They talked about how the song up to that certain point was very calm and had a somber tone, and then once it reached that about 2-minute mark, the whole tone switched, and they talked about like letting everything go and essentially free falling.
Perfect. Okay, so it's kind of like it's showing how they're not, the rhetorical fields are not something that are disconnected. They're very much connected and a part of how they support each other. So yeah, that is a really important thing to kind of talk about is that they're not separate, that they are connected, that they work in tandem to create meaning and in that message that the creator of whatever this text is trying to express. All right, great. Thanks, Jake.
Mhm.
All right, who wants to go next?
We'll go. Fausto, Hunter, V, and Parker.
Okay, and you guys looked at 1, 2, and
At this, yeah, we looked at the same one as Jake. So the second one. It's about how free falling doesn't mean you die. So let me just pull it up if I can.
Okay, I will let you share. Go for it.
Yeah. Cool. Can you guys see the screen? Hopefully it's not the.
You're good.
Okay, so anyway, so we first agreed on the thesis statement, which is this part. It's the second sentence of the first paragraph, where she just mainly talks about how all of the appeals together create a really good expression of how it impacted her in the timing, right? So first, at the end, this was the one that we thought was best showing, which was this sentence right here. So when she talks about logos, she mentions that logically, if there is something in our life that is tearing us apart, we should quickly cut it off. But I mean, in real life, that's a whole different complicated situation. So I think that with that, what I can use in mine is just, so I was talking about in my text, it's about a book called Extreme Ownership by a Navy SEAL, Navy SEALs. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Jocko, but he's really famous in the military. So he talks about all these experiences in the military and how just timing and just the mentality of it just really comes together. So how she made all of that fit into this text just really showed me that I can use that as well.
Mhm.
And how she'd used pathos was that the song was really, I mean, we thought it was really dark, to be honest, because it just talks about someone that is dragged into a bad situation in life, and she really feels familiar with it, with the character of the song, which is RKS something. She mentions it a lot. Rainbow Kitten Surprise 2018, which it's a band. So the band just started in 2013. So she talks about how it was ethos that made the credibility of this band just how all their fans like trust this band so much. So that's something that really impacted me on how I can relate to my text. So how the Navy SEALs are so credible, how you can trust their knowledge, their experiences, because they're famous for it. And the timing. So the timing, she said that if this was at a different time than the time that she listened to it, it wouldn't have been as great of an impact. So what I mean to say is that she was in a situation where she felt that people around her were dragging her down, and that's sort of like what the song is relating to.
Yeah.
So right here, here we are. So he's looking for a way out and explaining how he got there. So when essentially people already dragged him to that hell, so she talks about the hell, essentially in hell, saying he was pulled down by friends while trying to hold them on his shoulders. So I really like that example because that clearly states how the pathos, you could say, like the emotion drawn from the text can really relate to you. So other than that, and the last point, which was something that Jake really emphasized on, was the absence of logos. And so the way that the song doesn't really have anything like any labels, I think that's what it's called. Is logos like labels and stuff, evidence? So it doesn't have any,
evidence, data, research. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. So it really doesn't have any like research in it, and the fact that it doesn't have any of that makes pathos so big in this song, which just makes it a lot more like real life than just something logical, you know?
Very much so.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I really liked it. We really liked it. We thought it was really dark, but I mean, it clearly makes a point. I'm sure that someone here or everyone has gotten into a situation where they didn't want to be, and they probably related to a song or a book. Probably
Yeah. Everybody's got that,
something
and
they really
everybody
want.
has that song that for them it strikes that chord of just, this is the shit day I'm having, kind of. So,
yeah, it's so true.
and it could be not just the day, but it could be a whole period of time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so those are perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Thanks, guys.
Great.
All right, so we've gotten our two example twos out of the way. Who wants to go next?
Oh, let me stop sharing. There we go.
I can go.
All right, go for it, Emily.
So we did student example number 1. And in this example, the student was talking about a family heirloom that was given to her by her grandma, and it was a gold chain with a Buddha icon on it. Our group was talking about how we liked how she structured the essay. So she structured it by talking about ethos, logos, pathos, and kairos in order, kind of going by how much they were present in this lens text. So we liked the organization of that because it was kind of easy to read through and understand what she was talking about. And another thing that we liked was how she incorporated logos into talking about her lens text, because that would be an appeal that wouldn't be as obvious, I guess, with this lens text. But she was really saying how the materials of the necklace and the history behind it made it meaningful to her. And obviously she talked a lot about pathos and kairos because receiving the necklace from her grandma was kind of a coming of age moment for her. She talked about how it symbolized having more responsibility in her life. And another thing we liked was how she kind of gave some background on the life of her grandmother. So that kind of really helped connect us as readers to the backstory behind the necklace and what her family meant to her. And overall, we just thought that she did a really good job of making us understand why this lens text was important to her in her life.
Okay, perfect. So were there any particular examples that you wanted to kind of point out to everybody? Like specific sentences or anything?
I don't know about specific sentences, but kind of just the overall impact for us was what we focused on.
So it was her way of kind of making sure that she carefully went through each rhetorical appeal, and she made a very conscious effort to kind of separate them. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that can be really useful in terms of like, I need to talk about pathos this way. I need to talk about ethos in this way. I need to talk about logos in this way. I need to talk about kairos in this way. And again, it's not that they are completely separate, but it's a good way to kind of make sure that your analysis stays really specific to the rhetorical appeal. And it can be a great way to kind of stay on task, stay on target, stay on topic in terms of how you organize your paper. All right, thanks for that, Emily. All right, last but not least, group 3.
Yes. Okay. We read the third example, and this person wrote about the butterfly effect. Okay, awesome.
Let me know where to go.
I'm also splitting my screen here.
If you want to share so that's easier, go for it.
I don't know how to do that, so I'll
All
just let you know
Okay.
kind of
All right, that's
where
fine.
I'm going. So we kind of all found this a little bit kind of mumbled jumble, not necessarily, but it was a little hard to go through. The way it was set up, just each paragraph didn't fully go into a different appeal on its own. But we found that they thought pathos and kairos were pretty important in this quote. There's 2 quotes that they used. That's what I was a little confused on, if they just used the whole entire idea of the butterfly effect, or if they were kind of honing in on these 2 specific quotes that impacted them.
Yeah, no worries. So she was looking at the Lorenz theorem. So that includes the butterfly effect. So there's more to the theorem than just what we know about the butterfly. The idea of, if a butterfly flaps its wings in Africa, there's a hurricane in Canada, or something like that. Wings in Brazil, tornado in Texas. There we go. They're right in front of my face. So we have these kinds of. She was going to talk about the formulation, the theorem, and not just the quote. But she was using specific quotes from the publication, and that was not as clear. So the things that you kind of talked about in terms of description when I talked to you in your group, wasn't that kind of like the part that you wanted to take the most?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So is there a particular example where she started kind of, and this is what she kind of does in this particular example, is she said, here's this thing and here's how it applied to me, and she went off on this big description, and that can be really useful. So that idea of interpretation is really something that is part of analysis. So when we're looking at data, and this is what I kind of talked about the idea of qualitative versus quantitative data last time we met. That comes to kind of play here. So we're quantitatively looking at a text and saying, here are these instances of each of the rhetorical appeals. But we also want to kind of qualitatively look at everything and say, here's what that usage means. And so this particular essay, while it has a lot of long run-on sentences, and I tried so hard to help her with that one, but we have these spaces where she's doing this really great set of interpretive analysis that says, here's what this meant in this context and its effect on me. That can be really powerful. So I like that you guys kind of identified that, yes, there's a whole lot of work that could be done in the wording, but at the same time, we have these moments where the appeals are present because of this. And this is, an 18-year-old like you guys, like most of you guys are, looking at a formulaic theorem from 1972, one that we're all familiar with anecdotally, but still the full theorem is something that she's actually encountered.
I really had a few examples that I thought were
Go for
pretty
it.
good. She mentioned that the changes from her sophomore year to her senior year were kind of a great example to her of one of the quotes of the butterfly effect or the theorem. And kind of at the end of each paragraph, she has this sentence that tells that it made a really big impact on her as a reader.
Yeah. And so that's something else that I want you guys to kind of consider adding into your analysis is, okay, here's the rhetorical appeal. Here's the example of that rhetorical appeal. Here's how it impacted me. How did it work on me? Because that's the whole point of using the rhetorical appeals as a strategy, is that they're strategies. They're a way of people presenting information to affect someone. So we want to know what that effect is. And so to kind of better understand how we process information, it is really important to kind of have that consideration in terms of, okay, how did it affect me and why? That can be really, really powerful. All right. All right. Thank you, Cassidy. That was perfect. Okay. And I know we are running out of time. So what I do want to do real quick is touch on the last pieces of information to kind of help set you up for the rough draft. So let me go back to today's page. Just kind of a quick show of hands. You can either use the yes button, the hand button, the thumbs up or thumbs down button, however you want to do it. How many of you guys have used APA format before? And if it's a no, you can give me a thumbs down or the no button. Okay, about half and half. Awesome. Okay. All right. So APA style. I don't want you guys to kind of panic about it. It is just like MLA, but the rules of format are what are different. MLA focuses very much on the author and the page number of the information from a particular source. APA focuses on the author and year. So MLA, author page number, APA, author year. So it's very important to kind of think about the date. Now, I did want to draw you guys' attention to, and I put this in the homework to kind of be as part of your review as well for this week. There's a resources section in our modules. So again, you can collapse all of the modules down so you can see the main headings. But there are additional kind of resources down here to kind of help you out in terms of the content we have for our class. They may be things that I do assign as readings, but they could be things that are just there if you want to find like additional information about cognition. This is just something that's meant to kind of connect you with some information that will help you understand some of the content a little bit more if you're interested. But there is a section both for MLA and APA style. In the APA style overview, I want to kind of draw your guys' attention to the online writing lab. So hopefully you guys have been connected with this before. If not, it will become the most important tool in terms of formatting and citation styles that you can have. So what you want to kind of do is bookmark the heck out of the online writing lab. So if you click this link, it will take you directly to the APA section, but the Purdue OWL or online writing lab does cover, of course, APA, but MLA, Chicago, IEEE, AMA, ASA, and the older editions of APA. In this particular section, it does give you kind of how to do the formatting for each of these things. So in our page, I also have videos that are meant to kind of walk you through that process. And these are all from the online writing lab as well to kind of give you that information. The last video, though, is not from the online writing lab, but it's meant to kind of show you what the changes are if you had learned APA in the 6th edition style, the older edition style, and things that are more specifics to students. Like, for example, in APA, students do not have to have like running headers or title or cover pages. So those are things that that just professional writers and publications have to worry about. So these are each short videos. They are there as a permanent resource for you guys to use. So if you, as you're working through the next steps, do your best with the APA. I will not take off points if it's incorrect on your subsequent assignments up until the final draft. So do your very best. Okay. Now, in terms of peer review, I do what's called structured peer review. And this is meant to kind of give you guys the kind of process that we just went through. So we want to kind of think about, and I give you guys a link in the peer review activities to something called It's Better to Give Than Receive. And it's an article that's based in composition studies, so the research that teachers do about writing. And what they found is that students improved more in their writing the more they did peer review and targeted peer review, not just kind of checking for errors. So I want you guys to kind of consider this idea of global versus local concerns. And since we didn't have time to go over it in class today, what I will probably do is create a link to a video that goes over that in a little bit more detail, because your ideas are what are most important. So like I said, I don't want perfect writing. I love messy writing because it shows me where we need to kind of work on and what we need to improve. So, but your ideas, that's the most important thing. The formatting, spelling and grammar, those are things that we can look at later. But what I want you to focus on is that idea of the analysis, the questions that you ask and how you answer them. That becomes the most important part of this. So your rough draft, and I need to, that is incorrect. So your rough draft is not due until the 6th. I need to change that date. That was my original due date for this project. So if you need additional time or help, I will fix that date. That is incorrect. It should be February 6th here. It should be correct in the actual assignment link, however. Yes, okay. You'll also notice down at the bottom, there is a rubric to kind of help remind you what are the big foci for the project itself. You'll notice the things that are the higher point values are the things that are related specifically to your ideas. This is also the rubric you'll be using for your peer review process. So there is a walkthrough. So this is the step. These are the sets of steps that I'd like you guys to take for peer review once we begin that next week. And we'll work on that during our class time as well next time. So you guys have a little bit more information to go on. And I know I'm trying to get you guys out of here in case you have to go to other classes, go to work, or just go away. So I will create some additional information to kind of help you guys walk through that. The final draft, as well as the reflection letter for the project, will be due on the 11th, and we'll talk more about that reflection letter next Monday. All right, thank you guys so much for your patience in terms of me not being able to come to class and having to do this over Zoom. I know it is not the ideal situation. I'm cleared to go back, so we will be in person next Monday. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys need. Shoot questions my way as you have them, and I'm happy to help. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, everybody, and I will see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. So, Ms. Syke, I do have one question. So, and on the dashboard it says that we have like you already emphasized on it where you said about the rough draft not being for February 3rd, but February 6th.
Yes.
So for Wednesday, we don't have anything, or no, for Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, we don't have anything due for Wednesday? Just for tomorrow, I think.
So. Let me double check.
So the ones that I have here is identifying pathos, which is due tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the carryover from last week, so yeah.
Right. And the rough draft for February 6th, that's it?
February 6th, yes, I believe that is correct.
Okay. Well,
so
then,
yeah, the rough draft is more than enough homework to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's what I was like curious. Okay, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for your help.
You're
Have a
welcome.
nice day.
Take care. You too.
Thank you.